Well, good evening. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Thursday, the 3rd of April, and what a bloodbath day. All you need to do is look at the board behind me. You were up in BND, you were up in XLP. Tell me what else is up here. Everything's a sea of red, a house of pain, and that's about it. I have XLP up there twice because I just saw it. I'll get rid of it over there and put something else. But you saw market upon market come down. There was really nowhere to hide. You were either protected going into the tariff announcement or you weren't. And as I said, when we went yesterday and I did these videos, I said, you're going to go to bed and this event's going to go to Asia. It'll be the middle of the night, then to Europe. You'll be sleeping. And when you wake up, you don't know what you're going to wake up to. And that's exactly what happened. You felt one of the biggest days in the dollar on record. The energy's down, like I said. The stock market, a whopping loss today. And people wondering where they're at. Let me tell you what I suspect is going on. It's all the art of negotiation. Today, all of the president's men were on different TV shows talking up that this is how you bring the business back and so on. Peter Navarro, I was watching, adamant the president will not negotiate. There is no negotiation. And then 15 minutes later on Air Force One, breaking news, the president, he goes, well, if somebody offered us a phenomenal deal, we would certainly listen. So there's the crack in it right away. One man saying there's not going to be any. The next man, the head guy, going, offer me something phenomenal. You don't define phenomenal. It just takes the door that was sealed and it opens it. That's all. It's not at that opening. There's an opening right here. You know that he's putting on all of these tariffs in stages. Tonight, the auto tariffs go on. Then on the 5th, we get another round on the 9th. And then in May, another round even comes on. Of course, China's they're going to retaliate, but they'll do it in a very measured way. Of course they will. Who's their big customer, all right? And now their goods are super expensive. And what do you do with that? I mean, Vietnam got a 36% tariff. And we get a lot of stuff from them, but China's 54%, all right? How do you get all these down? Well, you get them down by doing something phenomenal. The president told you, the game. Offer him something phenomenal. So while we're hearing the word recession everywhere, not stagflation, we're hearing the word recession now everywhere. This is the reaction I exactly expected to get. I'm not talking how the market moved. The reaction that this is terrible, it won't work, blah, blah, blah. Number one, it is a reordering of the world society. Make no doubt about this. This is a big deal. Our kids will study this in school. Maybe your kids. I'm a little older. My kids are already probably reading it now. And as they read it, they'll understand what this was about. What it really started was World War II. As you know, in America, coming out of it, we were helping everybody get going again. And that's continued year after year, according to President Trump, where it's just gotten out of hand and we've been taken advantage of because of our size. At the end of the day, we are the biggest economy in the world. We are the freest economy in the world. I mean, you can go on, and that's what the president is using. And yes, it's going to hurt, but if it works, at the end of all this, you do come out better. We already saw car manufacturers today going, we're moving operations into our plants there. We'll jimmy things around. We're going to hire more people. We got to avoid those tariffs, and away you go. Other manufacturers like Stellantis letting people go. 900 already let go at a plant here. 4,500 at a plants outside of the United States. So the shakeup has begun in a major way. The retailers today took it on the chin. Bang. Why? Because we really don't do a lot of clothing manufacturing in the United States. I mean, every piece I seem to buy is made in some other country than the United States. Am I right? So that's going to go up 25%. Well, now you get to the stores like the Costco's, the Targets, and so on. What's that going to do? Because that merchandise is generally not made here. So lots of problems. Nothing was safe today. You have coming up more news tomorrow. So first you're going to have, there was a meeting held by OPEC, and OPEC, as I said, they're increasing their production 411,000 barrels. Let's see if I can get that back and get to where we're at now. First thing in the morning at 7:30, you're going to get the U.S. jobs report, and it's non-farm payrolls report. That's what they call it. And they're looking for in jobs to be somewhere between 125 to 140,000 new jobs. They're looking for 4.1% unemployment, and they're looking for the payroll growth to be about 0.3%. So there's your spread. Anything that's bigger than that scares the market. If the jobs numbers are bigger, means the economy's doing good and it can withstand certain things. Take that number under 100,000 and you start scaring the heck out of everybody. Fed Chair Powell gets to speak tomorrow. So at Eastern time, these are all Eastern time now, 11:25 he talks. At noon, Governor Barr speaks. And at 12:45, Governor Walker. Are they going to comment on all this? I would hope so, especially Fed Chair Powell. But what's he going to say? He's probably going to say we're studying it. I don't know what more he can say because he doesn't have what it's done to everything yet. So we will see what that does. All righty, let's take a look, if we could now, at the markets and where we're at. One of the stellar performers of the day, up 2.15%, McDonald's. What did I say yesterday? If this scares everybody, the stocks that go up are the low-price food. Kaboom! You took off to the upside. Higher lows, higher highs. So this market looks good. One of the reasons I started covering it this week was tariffs, because I thought this stood a chance of getting a bounce for the reason that I just gave you. You'd have to take out yesterday, not today's low, but yesterday's to negate the uptrend. The market held a challenge of the 18-day average of closes. That's what the 18-day moving average of closes is. And the resistance is right here. That's why I'm saying you've hit the resistance point. Do you know how to work with Bollinger Bands? Do you know why markets magically seem to stop here and stop in this zone here, right through there? Again, I can go on and on. Stay with me at the end of this and take the course on it. It's not expensive. I promise you it's not expensive. I was looking at M. Taylor jeans where you take a shot and do it. That's more money than my course. All right. So that just gives you an idea. I'm looking for the resistance right through here. Okay. Doesn't mean you can't go higher, but you're into the resistance point. You're also overbought. So if I were in the market and sitting next to you, you get an elbow. Hey, take some profit there. In Dutch Brothers, this is where I think the short covering should now happen. Now, why is Dutch Brothers in trouble? Do we grow coffee in America? I don't think so. Maybe you know an area where they do, but I don't. All right, so you get this coffee from different spots in the world, especially the grade that we like to drink. It's 25% more expensive. That can't be good for them, for Starbucks, or anything. All these companies know how to do typically is raise their coffee price anyways. The biggest one is Starbucks, not obviously Dutch Brothers. And it's a problem for them. So boom, down you go. But as far as I am concerned, you're knocking on the door of the 200, you're knocking on the door of the lower Bollinger Band, and the 200's all the way down here. So somewhere between this area and next $10 could be as far as you go. You can go further, but that's what I think as far as you go. And I don't see why you don't start, if I were short, taking money there from what I teach. CrowdStrike. Don't know what I want to do here. Now I want your help. This is as good a point for me to stop for a moment. What do you want me to cover the rest of the week? Not only the one like I'll replace McDonald's, but I can change these around and give some ideas. Now, don't give me triple leverage this and that. I won't cover it. You want to trade that way? Trade futures. All right. You don't have to have that for it. So give me stuff that you'd want. I'll review it. If I think that it's got a good following in it, in other words, volume, people know the name of it, I'll go for it. So many people write me things that nobody's heard of. I'm not willing to do those, okay? Not your little thing that you decided to buy a stock nobody knows because it's going to eventually go. But give it to me and I will cover them. I'll start it with the weekend edition. Lower highs, lower lows, bearish again. So until you take out Wednesday's high, The bears took control of the market now, and the next supports come in at 334.32 to 332.13. So market could be going down there. That's a pretty big drop from where you're at right now. It's not right around the corner. Sting. As I said, I was looking for Bollinger Band. That's it. You're oversold. But this sideways action is terrible. Because unlike the width here, and that's what you learn in my course, this narrowness means you can run with it. It's a spring. The narrower it gets, it's like a spring. And now you got the energy built up. And once it starts moving, it can move in a big way. These tankers, if oil prices are down this much, is there going to be more traffic for it or not? Do you think the tariffs that Trump snapped on everyone is going to help countries grow? I don't think so. How much are you going to shave off of Europe's growth? Will the ECB shave? What about China saying they're going to have 5% growth this year? Do you believe that's going to happen without resolution of some type? I have my doubts with the 57% or 54% tariff that's on them now. Alibaba, they could have all the great AI they want. Now, they have on their products that they want to send in, Temu, Shine, all these, 25% tariffs, right? But it's not just that. Trump went with a certain amount under $25, and then it goes up to a $50 tariff on different ways. The de minimis part, which means free under a certain value, and out of China, I think it was under $800. Free is no more free. Everything gets tariffed, so all those others getting hit along with Alibaba. Hood. Now, this to me is a surprise that Robinhood, CME, and all these others were down at all. They're going to see volume galore off of this. So I was surprised to see it, but the trend's down. You're oversold. If you reach, you could come down here. The lower it goes, the better it eventually becomes a buy when the tide turns. It hasn't turned, obviously. In XOM, as soon as the energy price, I'm telling you, OPEC just shook the whole market up. These markets were acting really good. You pulled the plug on everything and they went right into the moving averages and they held them. That game is over. There's some gaps here now that you can fill. There's no reason not to. And it all depends how serious OPEC is in doing what they said. Remember, we went down to the point in oil in one of these battles where the oil had no value. You had to be able to find a tanker to put it in. The companies that were in the trade eventually made a fortune on that. Just like in copper, that 17%, 20% spread between the LME and the COMEX. It's just waiting to happen, and I believe the big trade houses did that. You can't, I can't. You got to have millions upon millions of dollars and the facilities to do all this. But lower highs, lower lows, you're back in a downtrend in the financials. So as much as people like it, the next target, if it keeps going down and it's not oversold, is in the 47.08 to 24 level as I see it. XLI, now you're under the Bollinger Band, so you're overdone. That doesn't mean you can't go lower. You're overdone. People that sell under Bollinger Bands generally regret it very quickly. That's the point I'm making. Can it keep going down? Yes, but it's not a real narrow band that generally keeps that going. That's what I'm saying. XLE, what do you think stopped the break today in the market? You went right to that Bollinger Band number and just magically it stopped. GLD, you have an outside day down. You still didn't lose the bullish embedded reading. I'm amazed because the futures have lost it tonight. So the futures are on their chart, again losing it. Big break. You broke today about $100 an ounce. I mean, it was a lot in the gold, and yet you held on, relatively speaking, well there, not in silver. The people that were buying silver to catch up with the gold price, and you heard me say this in my other videos, nonsense. And that's exactly what happened. And the copper. Was I up here warning you? I said, don't fall for that, all right? When you got that much copper coming in to deliver, and you don't have a strong economy saying, hey, we're running up because of all the demand or something else. This was a tariff buildup. And as it turned out, the president even put the tariff on it, which made the situation even worse. BND, well, you know, people are buying this because they're petrified. They just want to park money now for a little bit and not lose the principal. So they're buying what this is made out of. But I don't think that buying the upper Bollinger Band is the smartest thing you can do. The dollar, crushed. That's the proper word. An engineered crush by our president with all this. Again, overdone but not oversold. I don't know when and where it'll try to come back into the Bollinger Band. I would not recommend selling under it, and I wouldn't recommend buying in the euro over it. So that's where I put the things together. So when I talk to you about these bands and you want to learn how to work them, it's my enhanced Bollinger Band course. I promise you it's not expensive. In the course, you get an awful lot. You're going to get the charts you see me using here. You're going to get my morning subscriber videos for a couple of weeks. And in it, I review every morning in charts, just as the market's open, recording with you. And you get those from the time I finish recording them now, 8 minutes later. So we've taken down the time of all that, so it's very timely now. I mean, it's fast. New technology just happened to do that. This concept I have found, it doesn't matter the chart time frame. It can be a 5-minute chart, 15, 20, a 1 hour, a day, a month, a week. A chart's a chart. So to get it and to learn about it, go to iraepstein.com under the word education. You'll have it. I'm Ira. I'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. You have yourself a great evening.